Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is none other than Sugi Shogun here, returning to my rightful place at the throne, and today I'm gonna be reviewing the brand new anime original series by Netflix called Dota Dragon's Blood, which came out today. And this is based on the Dota game series that started out back in Warcraft 3 as a custom map, which is a mod of sorts, and then down the line, one of the latter developers of the mod, IceFrog, joined Valve to basically create Dota 2, which was on a brand new game engine. It was on Steam. They did a lot of quality of life changes, changed a lot of names and assets which were contradicting with Blizzard's Warcraft assets. And basically then down the line, Blizzard didn't like that they were using the name Dota, did a lawsuit on them, and they did lose that lawsuit actually. And then ever since, Valve has done other IPs out of Dota 2, such as Artifact, which is the card game, and then the Auto Chess. But what you have to understand here is that Dota is not a game that you need to play in order to watch this anime, because Dota always started out as a PvP game, and it never really had a story or lore to begin with. During the original Dota, they did actually write certain types of background stories to certain of the characters in the game, and basically this was kind of used as the building stone for this story in Dragon's Blood, which is actually pretty good given out how little lore there actually was. And I've seen so many anime adaptations out of games, in the past, that they have not been good. And maybe it has something to do with that I haven't played those games. Maybe I would like the animes maybe a bit more then. But then again, I have played Dota, but I'm not exactly like a big fan of it. But I do know all the characters, which are called heroes. And there's like 119 of them. And this series basically follows a couple of those characters, so not all the heroes actually make appearance. I do believe that they're going to be happening on latter seasons, or books as they are called in this one. So the story kind of revolves around Davion, which is the Dragon Knight. Then you have Princess Mirana, which is basically the girl riding the Snow Panther, or not really a panther, a lion, well, whatever. And then you have Invoker, Luna, and Terrorblade. Those are basically around the 5, 6, 7 characters that you will be seeing. Some will be making very short, cameos, so to speak. And I believe they're going to be down the line shown in the actual series. And it kind of follows the background story of Davion. He's a Dragon Knight, which is an order of people hunting dragons. And then you have Princess Mirana, which has been kind of like exiled from her home and from her goddess, and which is called Selemene. And basically, well, they are kind of like accidentally meet up each other, and then a lot of things go down around the world, and then they kind of like join forces together in their own personal quest. So it's a lot of a character-driven story, but the overarching grandiose story is not really even that bad either. Like, yes, there was like some awful Verve review from a guy who hasn't even played fucking Dota, and then he was talking about, well, we did this, imagine having a clickbait article talking about, oh, it didn't make me play the game more, but Jesus Christ. But overall, like, the animation was pretty fantastic by Studio Mir, known from The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra. The soundtrack wasn't really the strongest suit of this series. I think it's kind of non-existent for the most part. I never liked really the Dota 2 sound design or voice actors. I think a couple of them actually were voice actors in this series as well. And speaking of voice, the original language is in English, but you can watch it in Japanese as well. I did try the Japanese. I didn't feel it was that authentic, but some people will watch the Japanese dub, and I think both are fine. I just prefer the English. I always say go with the original sound, and I think just kind of flushes out the characters better, because the characters behave in a very Western type of way. This is very similar to, Castlevania as a series. A lot of gore, a lot of blood. And Dota always had a blood, but obviously not like super gore type of a series. But overall, I would say that the English cast was pretty great, and the Japanese also is fine based on the couple of testings that I did. Obviously, there's probably some true hardcore fans which want to see their favorite characters making an appearance in the series, and I think that is definitely down the line. Now, in terms of the animation, going back to that, there's a lot of 2D animation and a bit of 3D. Some of the dragons in the series are 3D, and some of the other animals and maybe carts and things like that. You see a couple of 3D aspects there, but mostly 2D, and some monsters and things were also 3D, like the Terrorblade, which I think they should have drawn him in 2D, but maybe that's just my 2 cents. And one of the things, though, I mean, we had so many Dragon series as of late. Like, we had the Dragon Prince on Netflix, the Dragon's Dogma, and now we have another Dragon series. Like I'm getting a bit tired of dragons, guys. I'm not gonna lie. And obviously, the last Game of Thrones seasons had a lot of dragons, and I'm probably missing something else. There was that other the airship dragon hunting thing also released on Netflix. So dragons are not exactly like something that I'm super excited about right now. But I mean, I think it's a good story, gore, a bit of, well, it doesn't have really as much sex and, you know, that type of thing as Castlevania does, but it does, you can definitely see that this has very much Castlevania vibes in certain depictions of the things, and maybe certain sexual liberations, like, you know, they had this sort of like harem, it's not a harem, but polyamorous relationship or something like that, and it's definitely probably not in the actual lore. So they probably made some things up in the series, and Netflix loves that stuff, obviously. But, I mean, overall, it's a pretty good series. I mean, it's not the most amazing fantasy show. I think it sticks out a bit different from your cliche anime fantasies. So that's the reason why I kind of enjoyed it and liked it and watched it in one go. And it did probably help a bit to know a lot of these characters. And they were also pretty faithful to the abilities of the characters. So they were actually able to use some of the abilities that you see in the actual game, which was, in my opinion, kind of cool. And that's kind of like a fan service probably a lot of non-gamers really appreciate. So I think it does help to have seen or played the game before watching the anime. So, but hey, I think it's gonna be getting another season. Obviously, League of Legends is doing their own animated series, which I'm super excited about. But yes, I think there's something to it, this fantasy story. Some people have been saying it's cliche. I don't find that exactly. Yes, dragons are very cliche right now. But other than that, like the whole Luna things, and obviously these are not things that we haven't seen before exactly. But you have to understand that these lore concepts existed back in the existence of Warcraft 3, which was like, what, 17, 15 years ago. But that's pretty much my rundown. Obviously, this is the point. You're going to be subscribing to the channel if you want to see your family live again. Yes, I have them as hostages right now. But yeah. Okay, like the video, subscribe, leave your comments down below, and we're going to be talking about it later. Thanks for watching. See you soon.